This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Well, come on, First Alert Weather Breakdown time. Today is a special one with the KSLA News 12 First Alert Weather Day. Let's get you out to our First Alert Doppler radar, our most important tool here for our breakdown on this lovely Thursday morning. And, well, I guess it isn't so lovely, but let's get straight into it again. We have severe storms going through the ArkLaTex here this morning. It started early this morning. This is going to carry on well into the late afternoon hours for tonight. Now, if you haven't seen any of these storms popping on by, which there's a good chance, especially for those of you in northwest Louisiana that haven't really even seen too much so far today, don't worry. You're going to be getting your own dose of severe weather later on in the show. So for right now, we've got severe storms going from Longview all the way through northeast Texas into Texarkana, into southwestern Arkansas, and including southeastern Oklahoma. If you do see a little green box, it's tinted on the radar a little bit there. It's kind of outlined in a dark green shade. That is a flash flood warning. That's in effect for most of northeast Texas, in effect for McCurtain County, and I believe that's in effect for a little corner of southwestern Arkansas around Sevier, Howard, and I think Little River counties as well. All right, welcome on. We'll talk more about that picture on our First Alert Doppler radar here in just a moment. Hi, I'm meteorologist Evan Thomas, and welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Obviously, an important episode here for today. Us going over all the details you need to know for your First Alert Weather Day. We'll be on here for probably a little bit of an extended period of time. Usually we go over exclusive content on this weather podcast, but guess what? Today, we just used today for exclusively just going into the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Essentially, we take all the time we need, all the time we want. And that's something we really can't do on air at all. I'd love to just be able to I'll be honest, I'd love to take up the whole show, the whole morning show, the whole whatever you see on TV. Love to take that all up with weather, especially on a day like today, but we still can't. So we spend all this time here with you guys, also answering questions from those of you guys on Facebook and YouTube, which I believe we've already gotten some comments in. Good morning, Stacy. Thank you very much for watching. Also watching from Texarkana, Lewis. Hello, and good morning to you. Also, good morning to Irma Abraham. Good morning, guys. Hope you're having a good morning so far. And hopefully it's not too bad out for you guys around the ArkLaTex. I will say we've had just this one flash flood warning, and that's really been it alert weather-wise here for this morning. Although I will say there was a flash flood watch in effect throughout the overnight and into the early morning hours, and hence that has now dragged on a flash flood warning in effect for essentially the northwest corner of the ArkLaTex up by McCurtain County. And I believe that also includes, again, just a tiny corner of southwestern Arkansas. It includes the Red River County over in Texas as well. Valerie, good morning to you watching on Facebook. Also, good morning for those of you watching on YouTube as well, on our YouTube page, KSLA News 12. Again, if you have any questions about any bits of weather in the ArkLaTex with our First Alert Weather Day here for today, you can drop them down in the comments. I will take the time to answer them. Not right now. Not right now, though. I promise I will try to go back and look at all the comments and see what all I can answer. But essentially, here's how the flow of the episode is going to roll. Again, we've already seen this way throughout the early morning hours. It's going to continue on all day long. But let's go into this how this episode's going to work before I start essentially going over a monologue. Anyways, so here's our big topic, obviously, for today. We're only talking about the First Alert Weather Day. But how I want to divide this episode, because we have to run commercial breaks throughout this as well, and take little short breaks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a full main weather forecast. Usually on a TV show, it'd take 2-3 minutes, where I'm going to take the time to make this into like a 5-10 minute long main weather forecast. Give you all the details you need to know about everything weather-wise here for your First Alert Weather Day. All the details, because guess what? That might answer your question. After that, we're going to take a break. After the break, I'm going to go into all questions on Facebook and YouTube. If there's no questions, then I'll just dive into what the Doppler radar is showing us and dive into the future track. So for those of you, again, that have questions on Facebook and YouTube, that's where we're streaming this live stream right now. Feel free to put those questions and answers down if they come to your mind, but I will not be answering those until after the actual forecast, okay? Good. stay patient a little bit, as I might answer your question during this forecast. All right, so let's get straight into it. Let's dive. Again, this is our first alert Doppler radar picture here for the moment. I'm getting everything else set up here. Just give me a moment. All right, so we're going to dive, first of all, into this first alert Doppler radar before going to anything else, including the future track. So you can see most of our scattered showers are on the northern and western sides of the ArkLaTex. Texarkana continuing to get more rain showers again even now. Just so you know, where this rain is showing up across Idabel, across DeQueen, across Hope, across Mount Pleasant, New Boston, Texarkana even. It's been raining in these areas for now a solid 5 to 6 hours straight. It has been ridiculous. We've received reports up to 3 to 5 inches of rainfall in these areas alone. In fact, what that green shade is indicating is a flash flood warning that goes in effect all the way until at least 1:45 here today. So that's still in effect for the next 3 hours. That's essentially the length of time of where we can expect rainfall in that particular area across Idabel, Red River County in Texas, and also out towards DeQueen as well in Arkansas too. So again, this is an absolute gross system that has just not moved. It has not moved. It's finally going to start to get moving. We'll look at the future track in just a moment. We have some heavier rain showers about to head into Longview right now, and some about to head into Linden. If I can zoom in a little bit, we got some going towards Linden. Atlanta might get under some rain showers here in the next couple of minutes. Again, that line of rain showers is just going into Longview, finally starting to move eastward a little towards Marshall here, maybe in the next hour or two. Again, this is still a very slow-moving system, kind of just going on down the line. Hope just out of the rain right now, but probably going to get more rain here in just a little bit. Nashville, DeQueen, New Boston, Idabel, Texarkana, all these areas have been completely soaked. Meanwhile, those areas that haven't gotten rain yet today is honestly most of northwest Louisiana. We've gotten drizzles at best. We started off with a very foggy, moist morning. It's still incredibly moist with the dense layer of cloud cover around there, around Shreveport in particular, and you could tell something's coming, and it will be again here for later on this afternoon. Let's get a look at some sky cams here now, and then we'll again go back to our first alert Doppler radar before during our podcast. But other aspects of our forecast, let's go into a window roll camera in Texarkana, where rain's been coming down, and for again the past 5-6 hours, it is drenched in this area. This has been a copy-paste photo almost throughout the ArkLaTex. It looks pretty similar in Shreveport. You can see a few breaks in the clouds, but regardless, we still have a gloomy skyline here across Shreveport with some wet roadways. Most of that was from last night's rain. Yeah, that still hasn't even dried up because of how incredibly moist it is at the surface. That's not allowing us to really dry up our atmosphere whatsoever. So I think it goes to show that you need the umbrella here for the day today. I will say temperatures have warmed up a little bit. Temperatures are now in the mid-60s, and even a few areas, I think, upper 60s around the ArkLaTex. So very warm, and all that's been driven in by the incredible amounts of humidity and moisture, which is added to, again, how warm our temperature is for the day today. So maybe just need a little bit of some sleeves, but besides that, I think you're good. Just, again, make sure you don't forget the rain gear, including the umbrella and the rain boots. All right, I think this is the last thing I have before the future track. Just wanted to get you showing how this looks on our IR satellite here, where we have billowing cloud tops. Just, when you see those hints of yellow and orange, those are really tall clouds into the atmosphere containing a whole bunch of moisture. That's all the satellite looks at, is how tall these cloud tops are to be able to produce such an intense amount of rainfall. And if you notice, the loop on the satellite, again, has this tall cloud cover all stuck in one place almost, right on top of Texarkana and the north side of the ArkLaTex, which is where this rain continues to be driven. This is almost on a loop where this whole system kind of develops around Waco, Dallas, and then moves up into our neck of the woods up into the northern side of the ArkLaTex. It's almost like a fire hydrant of moisture here. So, yeah, on the loop, you could tell, like, the showers really starting to develop. The clouds, in particular, are starting to develop and really explode in a way around Waco, Dallas, and then they just continue to mature and push up to the north and east. up into basically the intersection of the ArkLaTex and over into southeastern Oklahoma as well. Thankfully, you can also tell on this line on the IR satellite that thankfully our line of where we're starting to form those showers is slowly but surely moving eastward. I think the key to looking at this is to look at areas around Austin where you see kind of at the beginning of the loop, that's where the showers are starting to form. But at the end of the loop, the showers are more forming out towards College Station, it looks like right now, in between Houston and a little bit of Austin as well. So overall, the point is we're finally starting to see this line progressively move eastward ever so slowly. Although I will say by 1 o'clock, I think that'll be the tail end of the showers for Texarkana and Northeast Texas. So this could still carry on still for another 2 hours across areas that have already gotten, again, 3 to 5 inches of rain. But speaking of the future track at 1:30 here today, in just a matter of 2 to 3 hours, that's when our line really starts to move across I-20. Look at East Texas. That was when we're expecting this to move into more areas around Marshall, Carthage, Nacogdoches, areas that really haven't seen too much yet today are going to be getting the brunt force of this line here in the next 2 to 3 hours. Looks like Shreveport gets onto this main line around 2, 3 o'clock later this afternoon. So basically when you're picking up the kids from school, if you have some, and maybe if you're heading to work early, maybe don't. Maybe stay at work maybe a few more hours. By 4 p.m., this moves into Minden and Hemphill before then carrying over into Natchitoches right around the commute home from work around 5, 6 o'clock this evening. After 6, we're done. 7 o'clock. But I will say, because this line is progressively moving now, especially in the early afternoon hours, which we're slowly getting closer to, that's really going to change the threat from flash flooding, where we're seeing that in the north side of the ArkLaTex, and where obviously buckets and buckets of rainfall have already formed. This is now going to become more of an issue of strong winds and an isolated chance of a tornado as well, especially once this system gets moving eastward. So, again, we're going to carry out the rest of the future track. Heading into Friday early morning, we're definitely done by everything, and we have a nice, pleasant, calm Friday with plentiful sunshine. That even carries on into your weekend, which will be nice as well. But let's get into some details about some of the threats we're kind of hanging around with here throughout the day for today. First thing is the rainfall. And I remember, again, already 3 to 5 inches have already formed in the northern part of the ArkLaTex, basically along I-30 northward. And we're expecting still another additional 1 to 2 inches of rainfall in those areas over the next 2 to 3 hours. So an intense amount of rainfall in such a localized area. We've already received reports of some flash floodings in McCurtain County. I'm going to go over specific details with some of that when I go loop back around to the current radar, actually. But essentially, we've found already some flooding on some roadways around Texarkana, northward into McCurtain County, and that could continue to get worse as the day progresses. If you notice, for the southern half of the ArkLaTex and for those along I-20, not nearly as much rainfall. We're expecting maybe a half an inch, if not only a quarter of an inch in some areas. Be lucky to get an inch of rain overall in areas along I-20 southward. So overall, that's why we still have that flash flood watch that goes through this afternoon for areas of McCurtain County in Oklahoma, Red River County in Texas, and also for our counties in southwestern Arkansas. I believe that's Little River, Sevier, and Howard counties, just north of Texarkana. Now, for the severe risk, this is what we're watching out and staying first alert about, especially for the southern half of the ArkLaTex. We have a marginal risk for basically those who have not seen storms yet at all. That includes Shreveport, Longview, and Magnolia, although I will say Shreveport's kind of on the border between a marginal and a slight risk. We have more of a slight risk out in where we're expecting the daytime heating to help mature these storms that are going to be moving across the region. And as these storms mature with some daytime heating, that'll give them more fuel for the chance of an isolated tornado and a few very strong wind gusts pushing across the ArkLaTex. So we do have to watch out for that, and that's our main risk for those south in the ArkLaTex. So to go over that one more time, again, northern half's dealing with flash flooding right now, still for the next few hours. Southern half of the ArkLaTex, once it comes on through, we're dealing with strong winds, and yes, a small chance of a tornado warning or 2. So for the timeline, again, the rain's carrying on through the northwest corner of the ArkLaTex now. It's finally going to start to move eastward any time now throughout the lunchtime hours, and definitely reach Shreveport probably in the early afternoon hours, more towards 2 and 3 o'clock. Meanwhile, Natchitoches, Arcadia, you still got to wait until almost the afternoon commute home to see the line of showers go through your region. And remember, that's where we have our slight risk of severe weather. So our greatest chance to get a tornado warning, if we have one, is going to be for this last tail end of our region that gets this line coming on through the ArkLaTex. All right, last little things to go over. Some side notes with the temperatures. Temperatures today already in the mid-60s. Highs today are getting up to around 70 degrees around I-20. We could have highs into the lower 70s for those south of I-20. Very impressive for late January. Incredibly warm. We do cool off tomorrow. This is a cold front that actually does move on through. Our low morning temperatures out the door for Friday are going to be down into the 40s. So considerably cooler for tomorrow morning, especially compared to the last 2 mornings before. Highs still reach into the mid-60s here for tomorrow on Friday. And guess what? Highs are still in the mid-60s for Saturday before increasing much more in the day on Sunday. 74 is the high on Sunday with a beautiful weekend on tap. Obviously, we just got to get through our first alert weather day here for today. Hopefully, you have the ability to get the ability to get weather watches and warnings in throughout the day today, especially as the storms come through your region. Stay weather aware overall throughout the rest of today. Again, once we get into tonight, we're done through Monday. That includes a beautiful weekend. We don't have our next chance of wet weather until Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, and at this point, it's looking minuscule. Only got 20% rain chances on those days, and that system overall, the middle part of next week, is not looking impressive as of right now. And overall, our highs are still staying in the lower 70s into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Whew, a little bit of a mouthful. All right. Yeah, that was a solid 10, 15-minute forecast, but hopefully you enjoyed it. That was the nitty-gritty of all the details you need to know about the first weather forecast. If I forgot anything, you can ask a question about it. If you want me to go over anything, you can ask a question about it on our YouTube and Facebook feeds on the stream you're watching on right now. So I'm going to take a 2-minute break, get myself essentially a glass of water, and I will be right back. And when I come back, I'm exclusively going to be answering questions that we have on our social media feeds, and I'll also be going over the current radar picture and probably going over the future track one more time. Overall, I'm just going to be going over kind of a lot more of the things of what's been going on, and also your questions that you have here at the house. Thanks for watching. Thanks for waiting patiently if you've had questions from the very beginning. But I will go ahead and take this 2-minute break so I can get to answering your questions quite soon. Hang tight, hang around. I'll be back in 2 minutes after taking a quick water break. I'll be back after this. All right, welcome back to First Alert Weather Breakdown. Again, we're just going over our details for our First Alert Weather Day. I'm open to answering any and all questions on our Facebook and YouTube feeds that we have ongoing right now. Before I actually get to that really quick, just want to hit one last time on this radar picture that I'm just going to let loop during the entire time. We do have a current flash flood warning in effect for a little corner of northeast Texas, for southeastern Oklahoma, and for, I believe that's, again, Little River, Howard, and Sevier counties in Arkansas as well. Again, that flash flood warning is currently in effect and still goes on for the next 3 hours. It's still raining there. We have rain totals up to 3 to 5 inches. Even some reports of some local road closures in those areas, as we've had intense rainfall rates basically since 4 in the morning. For the past 6 to 7 hours, I've been here for it. It has just been continually coming down in those areas. So watch out for that. Overall, just don't travel on flooded roadways if you have. Period. Don't be out there if you have to. I will say that as well. So watch out for that. Again, we have rain showers going into Texarkana continuously. It looks like we have the line of showers just starting to roll into Longview as well. And it's slowly but surely trying to trek through eastern Texas, while northwest Louisiana remains dry for now and should overall for the next 2 hours, maybe 3 or 4 even. We'll see. We shall see. All right, so let's go over YouTube. Doesn't have any comments, questions. Valerie just says, thanks for the forecast. You're welcome. Absolutely. Shirley says, good morning. Good morning. Welcome on to the stream. Again, we're just going over the First Alert Weather details here for today. Again, you have any questions? I'm free to answer anything and everything about the severe weather here for today. Again, flash flooding chance mainly for those in the northern half of the ArkLaTex. That's ongoing right now and should be still for the next 2 to 3 hours. Meanwhile, our small tornado chance and those gusty winds are going to start coming along here probably starting in the next hour or so, and especially because I know most of our viewers are in Shreveport, around the Shreveport area. We have the storm set for Shreveport probably sometime, starting sometime between 2 and 3 o'clock, probably rolling into 4, maybe 5 at the latest. But it's looking like the peak of the afternoon is when these storms are going to roll right through Shreveport and Bossier, for example. So, yeah, that's what the setup is for right now. Again, thanks. I do want to say also thanks for those of you watching on our YouTube and Facebook feeds as well. Appreciate it. Appreciate it for you guys for coming on and learning more about the details here for the day. Today, it's been a long day already. Again, the severe weather threat, as I said, started as early as 4 in the morning across the same areas where it's raining now. Essentially in the ArkLaTex, across Texarkana, southeastern Oklahoma, and across East Texas. If you have any questions about anything future-wise, let me know. Let me know. I'm glad you guys have had a good morning so far. Again, many of us, such as Shreveport, northwest Louisiana, haven't even seen any of this rain, period, yet today. While it's been raining, again, continuously 6 to 7 hours in areas such as Longview, Texarkana, McCurtain County in Oklahoma, northeast Texas. It's been wild. It's been a wild morning already. Many road closures as well in areas under that flash flood warning. That's in effect essentially for the northwest corner of the ArkLaTex. Number of road closures. I think even a school went to virtual learning in McCurtain County. I forget which one it was, but still some wild stuff. And getting reports of lots of road issues overall. I'm going to go over the future track here one more time, and then we'll see what happens after that. If I can grab it real quick while I leave that current radar picture paused for you. All right, so again, future track around 1:30, 2 o'clock. That's as early as it can. I'd probably say around 1 or 2 o'clock. That's when it gets into Louisiana. It'll probably get into Shreveport right around 2 is my guess as of right now. Again, that's still not for another 2 to 3 hours, though. It's going to trek through Marshall probably in the next hour or two. It looks like through Marshall around there, and then it moves into Shreveport again around 2 o'clock. Moving into Hemphill, Minden in the area towards 3 or 4. It moves into Natchitoches more towards 4 or 5 o'clock. before finally leaving the region. And again, it looks like it's going to leave most of northeast Texas, Texarkana area, hopefully by 1, 2 o'clock. So just within the next 2 hours, we should just be dealing with that ongoing flash flooding issue up there. Still wild stuff that's happening. I will say there's been certainly worse severe weather days and overall first alert weather days here for the ArkLaTex than this system, but still obviously with the flash flood warning, anytime we're expecting severe alerts, especially consistently throughout the day, we always want to give you the first alert, give you the heads up, and always make it a first alert weather day in advance, so to speak. So, yeah, that's what we're watching out here for the day today. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end off the stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This will be on probably, I think, recording on Facebook, on for YouTube throughout the day. Stay first alert, first aware, and weather aware overall throughout the day today. I'm meteorologist Evan Thompson. I'm going to go ahead and sign off on you guys. Thanks again for watching. First Alert Weather Breakdown, our weather podcast, will continue again here for tomorrow on your Friday at 10:30. You should join us. We'll be talking about our regional travel forecast, which is looking fantastic, I will say, for the weekend. Beautiful weekend forecast once we get past this morning. Our next weather update, just so you know, on our First Alert Weather Day will be with meteorologist Austin Evans on our upcoming noon show in just over an hour. So if you're looking for an update again happening, that will be happening in about an hour with meteorologist Austin Evans on our KSLA News 12 at noon show on CBS. All right, I'm going to sign off. Again, I'll see you tomorrow, 10:30 for First Alert Weather Breakdown. You have a great day. Stay weather aware, especially today. I'll see you tomorrow, 10:30. Be there, be square, and again, most importantly, be weather aware throughout the day today. Good luck, and I'll see you later.